Ireland.
What are you saying?
Saturday.
What are you saying? It means more to me than the money involved. It's...
I don't believe it, and I didn't believe it.
Okay, well that's good. It doesn't matter what you do or don't know. Who are you?
1 minute.
Oh, tempers flaring there. Slip inside the jab at Eubank.
Got to a dope house, in the mix, I'm pushing my folks out.
By unanimous decision, Eubank
Jr. versus Conor Benn. What a fight. Generally, what a fight. I made a video in, I think, about January, or early February, I don't really know. And I called it the most overrated fight of 2025. If I pissed you a lot off, I take that shit back. What a fight. Seriously, man. What a fight that was. Just have no words. You know, it was complete gladiatorship in there. It was fucking everyone was swinging. You know, starting the fight, Chris Eubank, in the lead up to the fight, I don't think I need to say a lot about the lead up to the fight. You know, Conor Benn being egged, going on to Piers Morgan, all that press conference drama, all that shit. Wow. If there's one way to market and sell a fight, that's that. It couldn't have been better. Now, talking about the weight, this weight, the fight was supposed to take place at 160, and this is one of my first problems about the fight, right? You have a guy in Chris Eubank Jr. who fights at about 168. He steps in the ring about 180, 185, and you strip him down to 160, right? That's a big. He almost killed himself trying to make that weight. Chris Eubank Jr. So, but he still got the job done. But this just goes to show that boxing, it's sort of become a circus, because it's dangerous. You know, when you're losing so much weight, all that moisture is being sucked out of your spine and from your brain. It's not easy. It's dangerous. You know, and Chris Eubank Jr. actually missed weight. It was a complete mismatch in terms of weight. You had a welterweight fighting a super middleweight. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's like a light heavyweight fighting the heavyweight. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's 2-3 weight classes apart. But when Chris Eubank Sr. showed up, that's when that got everyone buzzing. I mean, me personally, I don't mean to be that guy, but I always knew that Chris Eubank Sr. was going to come. Of course, it's your son's biggest fight. You know, I'm talking about talent-wise. Both of those fighters, let's be honest, they're never going to be undisputed. You know, they're good, respectable boxers in their own regard, but they're not going to be boxers like, you know, Bivol or Boots or Crawford. They're not undisputed material, but they're good boxers. You know, they can be champions. They can hold a belt or two. But leading up to the fight, talking about the fight itself, the fight was nothing short of fireworks. I remember watching the Bivol versus Better Be rematch, and that fight flew by just because it was complete boxing masterclass. That's why the fight flew by. But this fight, on the other hand, it had me on the edge of my seat the whole fight. This fight felt longer than the Bivol versus Better Be. You know why? Because it was just swinging. It was so much action. Them guys, both of them, hats off to both of those fighters, because they came in there to kill each other. They had no mercy, no remorse, just, I want to take your head off, I want to take your head off. And that's the beauty of it. You know, there were times when I was rooting for Chris Eubank Jr. because I knew he was going to win, right? I had a lot of my friends, a lot of those pussies who say, oh, Conor Benn's going to be, no. I always stuck with Chris Eubank Jr. But there was a time in, I think, round 2 where Chris Eubank Jr. was wobbled. And that's when I started thinking, bro, it's only the second round. And he's already getting wobbled. But that was fucking crazy, you know? And then Chris Eubank Jr. was wobbled a couple of times throughout that fight. But Chris Eubank Jr. really set the tone for the fight and used this jab perfectly. He was actually mocking Conor Benn in the fight. He was like, weak. And that's crazy. I love Conor Benn Jr., man. Isn't he a character? You know, if there's anyone you want to root for, it's Conor Benn Jr. But the fight itself, man, fireworks, complete fireworks. Conor Benn, just like that, came guns blazing, aggressive, ferocious, swinging arms around, and I was like, God damn it. And let's not forget, man, Chris Eubank Jr. has a chin. Because if he can take those shots forever for 12 rounds, you have a chin. And he didn't get dropped once. Apparently he had a broken jaw, he had to rush to the hospital, but it's nuts, man. What a fight. And Conor Benn got hit with a couple of clean shots too. I think it was an uppercut, and I think it was round 11 or 12 where he got hit with a left hook. And that sent his head flying backwards, and I knew, holy shit, that could be a knockdown. You know, that could be a knockdown. And let's not forget round 12. They both came in there, round 12 started swinging. This is what the normal casual fan wants to see, you know? This was a more marketable fight than Bivol versus Beterbiev, because Bivol, listen, I'm not picking either one of the two. Bivol versus Beterbiev was a boxing masterclass, you know, it's for the boxing fan. But this fight right here, anybody can watch this fight. It was swinging, swinging, swinging. I mean, you should have looked at the face of Chris Eubank Jr. after the fight. Fucking hell, fucking swollen up and shit, broken jaw. It's nuts, man. Holy shit, it was crazy. But Chris Eubank Jr. did a great job of just keeping him away with the jab. You know, keeping him away with the jab, coming up with a few hooks. He was the longer guy, he was the bigger guy. What a fight that was. I mean, don't get your hopes too high because on the 2nd of May, because we have Canelo against Skull, Inoue against Cardenas, Ryan Garcia against Rolly. And that fight, that whole undercard is amazing too. But what I will say is, by far, until now, it's fight of the year. Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. I said it was overrated, take that shit back. It lived up to the hype. There is a rematch clause, but I don't want to see Chris Eubank Jr. make that weight again because I do think it's genuinely very, very dangerous for him. Because think about it, you're taking a guy who steps in at 185, you should bring him down to 160. Come on now. You know, that's 25 pounds. That's a lot of weight. What a fight. We'll see what's next for Chris Eubank Jr. And we'll see what's next for Conor Benn. I think Conor Benn can beat Mario Barrios. It's not a big deal. He can get that WBC strap. But as for Chris Eubank Jr., he's 35. I think he's in the latter stages of his career. Does he fight Canelo? I think he'll probably get whooped against Canelo. But you never know. It's boxing. Anything can happen. We'll see. It was a great fight anyways. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, where could this one take you? Take it.
Young Jermaine walked the straight and narrow. Minimum wage jobs for the narrow. But still my mind was on the zeros. I fiend for the perks that was seen flipping birds. So we was skipping church, but my eyes was on the sparrows. Niggas flipping pies, spending thousands on a payroll. Shit, I wanna shine too. I want dimes too. Jealous niggas wanna know just how my rhymes blew.